Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Mortgage Insiders Edition with myself, Kim Nguyen, and as always, Preet Singh. We are mortgage brokers with Mortgage Alliance, part of Vine Group here. And today we're going to talk about something really exciting and actually local to both of us, as this is more pertaining to those who may have seen in their, bus stops or the media, relocate to Alberta. And today we want to actually chat about some of the differences that you may be aware of or may not be aware of as to, what's different about moving here to Alberta. Is it truly different from, other parts of Canada? How so? So today we're really going to take a dive into all of that.
Yeah, absolutely, Kim. So that has been a very hot topic in the last. We are already in December now, so this had been a very hot topic overall in the year, especially the Alberta province and the Prairies province that people wanted to move over here, and people were moving in the last year also, or prior to that also. But this year it had become pretty much a biggest, I would say, topic that we have heard that the people would like to move to Edmonton or Calgary or Red Deer, right? Even our neighboring province, Regina, Saskatchewan, Saskatoon also, right? Same story. But as Kim mentioned, we would like to point out what's the Alberta advantage. A politician also talked about that in Ontario and other. We will not go into the politics, but we will talk about what's the Alberta advantage. So, Kim, would you like to start from
Yeah.
the? Yeah.
I mean, you know what, and just to kind of shed some light as well too, like Preet and I both have seen an influx of people moving in here, and
Mhm.
what we've gathered is kind of like the top points as to, why it may be a little bit attractive.
Yeah.
First and foremost, the one thing that many may not be aware of is that we only have one single tax here. So
Mhm.
anytime you're buying anything, you're only paying GST. That's it. So there's no HST, no PST, nothing of that sort. We only pay the 5%. And while on the topic of taxes as well too, is when you actually buy a home here, we don't have anything called a land transfer tax. So
Mhm.
essentially, when you're buying a home, the only closing cost you truly have would be your lawyer fees. And lawyer fees,
Yeah.
I think, read between 1,500 to about 2,500, give or take. That is
Mhm.
all you have for your closing costs.
Yeah. Closing costs to talk about. Only other thing that I would add on to that is a property inspection, like
Yeah.
which most of us will do, and we will, as a broker, will 100% recommend that. So as Kim said, like your lawyer cost and your property inspection would be the only closing cost. But if you talk about other provinces, there is land transfer tax, and when we do other province deals, we have to consider that. But when we are doing Alberta deal, we don't even think about that. And that is an added cost that the buyer has to come up with, right? So that is definitely a win-win for Alberta properties. If you're buying a property here in Edmonton or Calgary or Red Deer, there's no land transfer tax, right? So moving further, I would say, Kim, the other thing that I personally liked about Edmonton, Calgary is smaller communities. So if you have to go from one place to A place to B place here, wherever you are in Calgary and Edmonton, it's not taking more than 30, 35 minutes, maybe max 40 minutes, right? From one corner to another corner of the city. And that's the biggest thing I like about the commute time is so less. You can spend your that time. You don't need to sit in the car, and you can spend that quality time when you are not working with your family, kids, right? Or play soccer or something else, right? So
Whatever you want to do, yeah. Like 30 minutes though, right? Just to from any part of the city to go into central downtown or even to go to the other side of town, 30
Mhm.
minutes is usually the norm that you'd be spending. If you're going to smaller cities like Red Deer, it's
Oh yeah.
less than that. Like it would be 15 minutes, right?
It,
If that.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, if I talk about my neighborhood, I live very close to a smaller mall, you can say, or a shopping complex. Everything is so close. Like, you don't have to travel too much, right? So, yeah. Moving further, Kim, I'm pretty much sure you will talk about career growth, right? What do you see from? I know Calgary has more white collar jobs and Edmonton has more blue collar jobs, right? So that's how it has been divided since 100 years, right? So what would you add towards the growth prospects? I know many professionals are moving from other countries. Many professionals are moving from within Canada, especially Eastern Canada to Alberta, right? What do you
Yeah.
see?
100%. So in terms of career growth, like, Calgary has always been known, or actually Alberta in general has always been known for oil and gas. So
Mhm.
that industry is still there. Again, it is still growing, it's still thriving. So again, it is cyclical though, right? But the
Yeah.
nice thing is that, especially in Calgary anyways, I know we're seeing a lot more into the tech industry. So we're seeing a lot of expansion in that side of things. I know
Mhm.
labor market has been extremely hot. Just again, laborers are high in demand, and I know I can speak with in Calgary and also Edmonton as well too. So laborer trades, like that is in high demand here. I know
Mhm.
Preet in Edmonton, there's a lot more manufacturing growth as well too. So again, if that's a career industry that you're in, again, like that is it's thriving. It's definitely growing, and because of all of this too, you have to keep in mind that within Alberta, there's a lot of smaller cities, I would say, something like Leduc or Airdrie, the Okotoks, and they are also looking at expanding too. So when moving to Alberta, just know that there's just so much room for potential to grow
Mhm.
and the possibilities are endless, truly. Like I think we're a very young province, and I think there's just so much room to grow over.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you talked about Leduc. I like know for sure. City of Edmonton is always trying to expand its boundaries, and they did the annexation for Leduc area, and they have do plans. Basically, I think we were talking about Amazon basically being here in Edmonton, and I'm pretty much sure they're in Calgary also, right? So they're creating basically a lot of job growth, contributing to the job market also. I know many people here in Edmonton who are working for Amazon, and they're very happy with their jobs also. And so, giving you an example of Amazon, and Amazon is based in between the airport and Edmonton City, and that area is developing. So, pretty much, Alberta has land. This isn't just a small example. Alberta has land. There's so much potential, and these cities are always growing, right? So, and then we talk about I will talk about that from my personal experience. Education, right? So the universities and institutions that related to that. My son is upcoming basically year. He would be going to basically a university, and my daughter would be going to basically high school. So when we think about those options, Edmonton and Calgary are like so blessed with all these universities. University of Alberta, University of Calgary. There's one in Lethbridge also. Like these options, are so many options available if you have kids basically who are in that age and growing for university or school or high school, plenty of options. And high standard of education is like, if you talk about University of Alberta, this is known as one of the best universities across Canada, and all these other competition wise, like you will not feel that you have to go live in Toronto or BC only if you have like growing kids, right? You can get world-class education here in these cities also, right? So, Kim, I know you have more information on the price point. Like, would you like
Yeah.
to add on the other
Oh, no.
advantage for our buyers,
I think,
right? So,
yeah,
yeah.
no, and I think the
Mhm.
final advantage, just to kind of round everything up, is the price point. Like it
Yeah.
is unbeatable. Like just to kind of give everyone listening just kind of like an idea of what we're looking at. So if you're looking for a single family home, again, whether you're looking inner city or a little bit out in the suburbs, and remember the commute time, 30 minutes if you're in the suburbs. Again, a single family home, like it will range anywhere between half a mil to 600,000, right? And this is where you're getting like a pretty good, decent square footage, 2,000 double car garage. Like these are kind of the numbers that you're looking at in both Edmonton and in Calgary. If you're someone who's newer into the home market, maybe it's just yourself, you want to look into like a condominium or a townhome. Like we still have condominiums. I know in Edmonton, anyways, there's some as low as 150,000, 200,000. Again, just depending on the bedroom. But for all of those listening from Ontario and BC, like that's the purchase price, okay? 150,000 to 200, not your down payment. I know you guys are very used to hearing that as like 200,000 is my down payment, but no, over here in Alberta, that's your purchase price. So The win-win is if you actually had that money as a down payment, let's say you've saved up the 150 and you're still kind of priced out, the benefit is that you don't have to put that full amount as a down payment here, and instead you could use the excess to invest, right? Whether you want to
Yeah.
buy another property, put in the stock market, whatever, maybe even open up a new business. There's so much opportunity because the barrier of entry and the price point here, it's affordable. I think that's the key that I want to leave with.
Absolutely. Yeah. The lower the price point, the lower stress on you as a consumer for the monthly payments. And in some other videos, we will talk about how the monthly payments basically now, especially with the variable rates and fixed rates going up, the payments will be changing. But going back to the point, with the lower price point, you have less stress on your budget, right? So if you are in a bigger metro city, if your payments are too much, then that will also have an impact on any kind of fluctuation if there is any interest rate fluctuation also, right? So these are a few, very few, and we may have missed. I'm not even sure if we may have
Probably a
missed.
million more.
But
from
these
a
are the
high
few
level.
advantages. We will call it Alberta Advantage, right? So
Yeah.
if you are basically considering, if you are new to Canada, or if you are from any other part of Canada thinking to move in the coming year to Edmonton or Calgary or anywhere in Alberta, give us a call and we will give you our unbiased opinion and help you out with the mortgage approval. Yeah.
Thanks again, everyone, for listening. We hope to catch you on the next one. And until then, like I said, my name is Kim Nguyen, with me, Preet Singh. And again, our contact information will be listed below as well, too. So feel free to reach out at any time.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.